All right. We are live on YouTube. Yep. All right. Let's go live on TikTok. I I put it on in the closet on the right side, right by the light switch. Isn't it right there? Right on the ground? That's it. I don't know. Just set it down. Okay. All right. You guys heard that on YouTube. No big deal. Oh, no viewers. Okay. No big deal. Okay. Let's pop out this. That nice and big. Let's turn that off. Go. Okay. All right. That one. No, not that one. This one. There we go. Okay. All right. Welcome in. Rock Easy. How you doing? How's it going, everybody? By sending his son Jesus to die on a cross so I could have eternal life. How does that demonstrate that God is just? If this God is just make believe. Yeah. I'm doing well, Rug Easy. Glad to see you. Sorry if I'm crunching in your ear, but I'm eating some nuts. So I'm a little tiny snack. Hope everyone's having a great and wonderful Thursday. Glorious Thursday. I'm having a great Thursday. Good to see you, Dr. Joe. So, boy, it's been an eventful day in some places, huh? Okay. Well, hey, Sonny. Good job, by the way, Sonny. Good job. Yeah. I hear you. I pray you have a blessed day, man. Jesus loves you. You're worthy of love. Well, Sal, we thank you for that, but I just want some evidence that God is just. Passing Trump burger. There's a Trump burger where you're at? That's interesting. Someone told you I had my son be tortured in order to save you. You'd think they were sick. Yeah. Good point, Dan Blackroyd. Whose moral standard are you using to determine God is just? And I'm using an objective moral standard. It's terrifying. Yeah, I hear that. It is. I can understand that. Chuck McNorris. Hey, HLT. So welcome to my folks up in YouTube. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Mrs. Verify discovered I have her snacks. Oh, you knocked me offline. Oh, you have to refer a recipe? Sorry. There is no whose objective moral standard. It's an objective moral standard. An objective moral standard is mind dependent, so that's a ill-formed question, no matter golf. There is no who. Because if it's a who's moral objective standard, then that means that makes it subjective, and it's no longer objective. So, objective moral standard. That's it. I finally broke down and broke open a bag. These are delicious. I'm not going to lie. These are fantastically delicious. The fact that it's your opinion makes it subjective. Not an opinion. I just said it's an objective moral standard. So we're using ill-formed questions and statements, and you just strawman me. But anyway, it is these are objectively good. Prove me wrong. Ketchup chips, man. Black Liberator, 1804. Yes, imported from Canada. I had to wait 2 frickin' weeks for these. You look exactly like my Filipino uncle. Wow. Maybe I am. No, I'm kidding. You grew up in Toronto? Okay, so you know about these, huh? Only problem is that these are just like my holiday things, but I'm going to have to... Oh, thank you, Oppo. I'm going to have to not eat these during the year because they got like red dye and a lot of artificial flavors. So if I can find a healthier option, I'm all over it. Does it taste like fries? Yes, it does. It tastes exactly like crunchy fries. And it's got the picture on the front. Like, that makes sense, right? Yeah, fire truck red, yeah. But that makes total sense, right? That you would have ketchup chips. Fries dipped in ketchup. Yeah. Although, don't Canadians... What's more popular in Canada? Fries dipped in ketchup or fries dipped in gravy? Like the poutine? What's more popular? Because I always thought it was the poutine that was more popular. That's ketchup powder, yeah. Both? Would you say it's 50-50? Because I wonder if do they have like a poutine flavored chip? That'd be kind of funny. I might have to look that up and try that. Hey, Double E. How's it going? Vinegar on our fries? Oh yeah. I mean like fish and chips, right? Because I'll use malt vinegar on those fries. It's like yo, Tiny Science. It's like yeah, it just kind of like when I have fish and chips. Yes, I got them. And I finally broke them open. These are fabulous. These are fantastic. I'm going to get more. But I'm going to try and find some fish and chips. That's the radioactive kind. I'm going to try and find some like healthier ones because this is like, it's got like red dye 40 and let's see, what is it? Yeah. Artificial color red 40, lake caramel color, extractives of paprika. But there was some other stuff in here. Well, MSG I got no issue with. So they got the seasoning, sugar, tomato powder, fructose. A lot of sugar. But they didn't need the red dye 40. They could just done without that. Well, I'm going to say that best evidence that I would say is people and animals that God is just. How so? How is that evidence that God is just? Just people and animals? The fact that he regretted making us and still saved us with Jesus, how much more just can you get? But why did he make us in the first place, Corey Lee? Because isn't God all-knowing and all-powerful? So that means he's not very powerful and not very knowing. Sorry, I'm crunching like right in your guys' faces. Sorry about that. But these chips are way too good. And then you finish them off with some carbonated water. But let's get 100 shares on the board. Oh, hey, Double E, do you want to do your before we take our first guest, do you want to do your announcement? Or I'll pull you up. I figured we should do that like first, right? Or do you want to wait until more people are here? Keep crunching. We love it. Grandpa, no pivot. It's good to see you, man. To be your age and that old and an atheist is sad. Okay. I'm not sad. I am very happy with my life. I'm doing well. Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
What's up? Good. I didn't hear what you said before you brought me up. So,
Oh,
are you wanting me to do my announcement
yeah.
beforehand?
Yeah. I figured why not do it
Okay.
like before the first guest, not
Yeah,
after the
yeah.
first
Well,
guest.
because I was doing it like in the middle, like in between some guests, because more people will have arrived in the chat. So
Hmm.
maybe we can do it a couple times, but we can try it
Okay.
this time. So let's
Yeah.
see.
Let's try it this time.
All right. Okay. Welcome to Trust But Verifies Live, everyone. We have 78 people in here, and we're happy to see you. In this live, you'll experience mostly calm conversations where the spice level can get to that of about a poblano. Most of the time, we're a sweet bell pepper, but when the occasion calls for it, the heat level can rise, so just be aware. But we do always take it back down to bell pepper levels. If you haven't yet, please do your heart me's and daily goals. If you long tap the screen, you'll see there's a place to repost and share the live more easily. And then let's try to get to 10K likes really quickly. And then we're already at 41 shares. I would love to see us get up to 60. That would be great. And we do have an early kick goal when a person is up. If you do want them to be kicked, or if you want to have everybody get the chance to vote for that, then you can send gifts to do that, and it can come in handy. So, and then if you are able, Trust also has a subscription you can get, but always remember only to gift or subscribe if you are able. Times are tough. Speaking of
Sure.
subscribing, Trust has a YouTube. He's looking to get 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't done so yet, just search for Trust But Verify 2024 and click subscribe. We also have a Discord. The link is in Trust's bio. If for some reason you can't get it, please just let one of us mods know and we'd be happy to help. And then one last mod announcement, please no preaching, praying for non-believers, or being rude in the chat. And please do not use caps lock either. It's how we can communicate with Trust as mods, and then also how we can get information out to the chat. And yeah, I know it is hard sometimes not to use caps lock with some of the guests we have, but we appreciate your help in keeping the chat clear. Once again, welcome to Trust But Verifies Live. We're glad to see you.
Thank you, Double E.
Yeah, no
Fantastic.
worries. I will drop.
All right. Right on. Okay. They're amazing, by the way. Double E is fantastic. So all my mods are fantastic, but all right. Hey, we got a friendly. Oh, wait. We just had a friendly. Come back. Come back. I'm gonna bring you up for a couple minutes because we got no believers for requesting up. So let's oops, my bad. Wrong person. My bad. Oh wait, no, right person. It was the right person. Grandpa.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Wonderful to see you. I see your lives. All thanks to your wonderful model announcement. Individual right here that came up, Miss Ethereal right here. That's a wonderful friendly of mine who I met a long time ago, and she is amazing.
They are
And all
amazing.
because of that wonderful person, that's how I met you.
Oh,
And you
well,
are fucking awesome.
well, it's
You are fucking
fantastic.
awesome.
It's finally nice to meet your acquaintance. I've seen you in passing, like and we said hello in chat and stuff, but never actually got to put a voice to you. So it's finally nice to meet your acquaintance.
Absolutely. I do my
Yeah.
own little deconstruction lives, but I have taken a little break for a while.
I
So
know. I was actually in those for a minute, and
I have seen you,
yeah,
yes.
I was in those for a minute, and then I was like, oh wait, where's Grandpa? But then I see you as guests on other lives too, so that's good. You're still there. You're still around. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. A couple of times when I saw you in action, I'm like, damn, do I want to try to be a co-host? I feel like he's too good. I can't keep up.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
too
know.
kind. You're too kind. You're way too kind. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, I'm going to reboot the co-hosting. I did put it on hiatus for a minute just so I'm because I'm kind of like adjusting the scope of this live a little bit, but I'm thinking like first in next year I'm going to start bringing up like one co-host at a time. So I'd love to have
Mhm.
you come up and because I've seen you, yeah, I've seen your work, man. So I would be honored if you came up and co-hosted with me
Definitely.
one of these times. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will go ahead and drop down. I just wanted to, come up and say hello and greet myself.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. We'll keep in touch and we'll schedule something.
Absolutely.
Man,
Awesome.
love it. Okay. Take care, Grandpa.
You too.
All right. That's Grandpa No Pivot. Fantastic, fantastic creator. I know he said he's taking a bit of a break, but you ought to follow him. You really should follow him because great content, great takes. Just I'm just very impressed with Grandpa Pivot. So everybody, please follow him. Find him in the list and follow him. So, well, one could say the god Abraham is a spirit of darkness, a genie of the jinn. Yeah, you could say that. We could say a lot of things about that, right? We could. We could say God is a potato. What is just even? So it's the generally accepted definition of just, fair, um, with it's a sense of fairness. But you know what? That's probably a good idea. Let's get the definition out. Yeah, behaving based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair. So, what's really ironic is when believers first tell me that they follow objective morality and then they ask me to define what just is. You should already know. So, I can, but that's not today's topic. So, do you have evidence that God is just? I am. But yeah, if you actually join my Discord, I have an ontological incompatibility argument against God. And this is specifically the Abrahamic God, the omnipotent, the all omni God. I just did Personer. Yes, they're here, and I'm eating them now. Yeah, these are fantastic, Peg, and it makes a lot of sense. It's just like, duh. Why wouldn't you have ketchup flavored chips? Yeah. So that's just like it's like a no brainer. And I'm just shocked we don't have these in the United States. It's just wild. Morality is subjective. I happen to think morality is objective, but if somebody is asserting that morality is subjective, I don't have a beef with that. That's not the hill to die on for me. But I would assert that my son puts ketchup on his potatoes. Yeah, makes sense. But I would assert that having believing in an Abrahamic God is automatic subjective morality. Morality comes from the laws of logic, grounded in the laws of logic. Now, the interesting thing is you need pillars, though. That's the only thing. You need pillars to hold it up. I think standard objective moral realism, it kind of gets cloudy. And best I could come up with is freedom and well-being. Because if you take it from the perspective of freedom and well-being, and this is in my Discord, by the way. If you go to my Discord, in the Philosophy Chat channel, I actually lay all this out. And the layout I have is, I'll have to go to that channel because I wrote it all out. Where is it? Philosophy Chat. There it is. And it's pinned there. So if you have to go to the pinned posts in Philosophy Chat. and it's right there. So there it is. All right. Let's see if I can turn on. We'll just go over it real briefly, very quickly, and I'll skip to the section. That's interesting. Okay. There we go. All right. I think everybody can see it. Can everybody see that? Yeah. A little blurry, but I may just turn it off. We'll see. Okay. So I may have to move some stuff around. Yeah, let me move it around. Okay. So this is kind of what I wrote out. Let's see. So this kind of goes over my entire worldview. So we have to go to ethics and purpose. No. Hey, where's the rest of it? I think we have to go the entire thing. Where is it? It's not scrolling all the way. There's more to it than this, but I can't see the rest of it. Maybe I did it in parts. Let's see. It's not showing up correctly. So I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the deal is. But there's like a section 5 here and it's not showing up. So I'm just going to have to make that go away. And I'll just read it to you. So sorry about that. I don't know why you can't. It just doesn't doesn't show up correctly on the computer. So all right, pins. No, that's politics. I got to clean up politics chat because there was an old mod who was like pinning a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want there. So I'm going to have to deal with that. Yeah, why didn't it show up? Oh, yeah, I guess that was section 4. My bad. Okay, that was it. All right. I thought there was a section 5, but I guess not. All right. So foundational ethics and persons. So the foundational moral axiom is all agents have a equal moral right to freedom and well-being, limited only by the equal rights of others. So how we get to that part is, if we think about like the concept of consciousness and agency, so agency grounds moral responsibility. And, so that's up in section 310. Moral responsibility applies only to agents capable of understanding consequences. So if there are agents that understand consequences, then all agents do have an equal right to freedom and well-being. And then also, if you go down a little further, the freedom and well-being part, thriving and self-determination are inseparable from existence. So if you can point out to me a situation where it's justified to have a being exist, like an agent exist, yet not grant them the ability to thrive and have self-determination, then I may reconsider my position. But until that happens, no one's really been able to do it so far. Not to say that it is true, as I'm a fallibilist, but not to say that it's not true or that mine is the only one. However, it seems to me that thriving and self-determination are objectively, it seems to be non-independent, because no one can come up with a reason where a moral agent who hasn't infringed on the rights and freedoms of others, or freedoms and well-being of others, it's justified to restrict their freedom and well-being. Yeah, thank you, Double E. Yeah, it was a little off center. I was like moving a whole bunch of stuff around, right? So, okay. So, yeah, so that's essentially how it goes. The laws of logic discovered or created? No. Well, they were discovered. Yeah, they've always been since the. I hold that they're eternal because easy test that you can do is just determine if things that are identified under the law of identity, do those things cease to be identifiable once if there are no minds around to identify them? Who gave you rights and who has the right to give rights? No one gave me rights. My rights are self-evident and inalienable. Like it's in our Declaration of Independence, and it's what our Constitution is based on, at least the United States. But no one gave me rights. That's the thing. No one gives you rights. Rights are rights. They are yours by default. So simply existing. How is that not God? Demonstrate that God did laws of logic. You haven't demonstrated that. So I can easily show that the laws of logic are eternal and self-evident. Because like I said, does the number one cease to become the number one simply because no minds are around? Logic is God. Demonstrate that. What's your proof of that? That's just a statement. Me? Exactly right. Not everything has to begin with a who. It can begin with a what. So demonstrate. Oh, ketchup chip finally came in, me. I waited for these. Let's see. I bought these right before Thanksgiving, I think. Yeah. And they finally came in like the other day. So, yeah, ketchup chips, Ashura. They're a Canadian thing. My Canadian friends turned me on to these, specifically Philly Red. And I'm like, ketchup chips? Yeah. But see, the thing is, Lemmy, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because who wouldn't put ketchup on potatoes? I eat my potato chips with ketchup all the time. Yeah, see? It makes sense. Totally makes sense. Sorry, but what is the Discord? I can't see what it's called. It's called Trust But Verify Logan Anderson. If you want to join my Discord, there's a link in my profile on the link tree. Are there any consequences for consistently denying logic other than irrational thought? It's probably about it, but whatever consequences come from irrational thought. Like I would say that the Yahtzees were supremely irrational, and that didn't turn out so well for them. They bore pretty bad consequences. If a creep was looking at a blind woman undressed, would that be wrong, and where's the harm? Yeah, absolutely it's wrong, Nomadic Golf. And that's kind of weird that you have to ask something like that. But I think I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely it's wrong. It violates the blind woman's freedom and well-being. Just because she can't see it or is unaware doesn't mean that her freedom and well-being have not been infringed. So, yeah, absolutely. For freedom, would you say peeping at a woman undressing without their consent is infringing on their freedom and well-being? I would say so, yeah. What are the consequences of irrational thought? Having irrational thoughts lead to uninformed choices, uninformed actions, and uninformed actions can have their own consequences. So it's like a cascade of consequences. So there may not be a direct consequence to irrational thought, but it can lead to uninformed, ill-advised choices and actions. Like example, if somebody rationalizes that they can drive with their feet. Well, I mean, they can do that. Does that make it a good idea? And then if they get in an accident because they're driving with their feet, yeah, you haven't established that God is logic. So demonstrate that God equals logic, because that's not what logic is. It doesn't matter if the person has no idea, nomadic golf, of the harm. The fact is they're still harmed. Like, for example, necrophilia is harmful. It infringes on the freedom and well-being of the decedent. Even though they're deceased, they still have agency. They still have freedom and well-being. On top of that, it tears at the moral fabric of society. And it's a health risk. It's a health issue. It's dangerous. Because dead bodies have, bacteria and viruses and all that stuff. So you're going to be spreading disease around. So yeah, it infringes on health and well-being. No, logic is not my creator and ruler. I don't think logic created everything. So that's a category error, personer. You're making claims without evidence. I just demonstrated it to you. I just used a syllogism. That's evidence. So what is your evidence that God is logic? By what were things created? Laws of physics. But we're getting away from the topic here. We're going to get back to it. What is your evidence? See, I'm controlling the process here. And the process is to not let people derail you into these irrelevant conversations. So the relevant conversation here is, what's your best evidence that God is just? If you want to go argue about God's existence, go find a live that is talking about that. But I'm not talking about that today. So let's get back to it. What's your best evidence that God is just? What's the evidence that numbers would exist without human minds? I don't think there is any of it. I don't think there is. I already defined just twice, personer. You got to listen. I'm not going to do it again. If you have a problem if you need a definition, then go look it up on Google. Just Google define just. That's the one I'm going with. Where do we get our morals from? I just told you. The laws of logic. Morals are constructed from the laws of logic. If God equals logic, oh, that's a great take, Lemmy. If God equals logic, then God is unnecessary. Yep. So request up if you want to talk about it. So yeah, anyone who is a believer of the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, who is at least 18 and has evidence that God is just, request up and we can talk about it. That's an ill-formed question. I would say logic is necessary. What good is God anyways if you can't help a child? Exactly. Can't help a child, then what good are you? If everything is perfect, then we would be bought. Is everything perfect in heaven? Because if everything's perfect in heaven, that means that there's no free will in heaven. Yeah, let's keep tapping. Let's get to 25K. And yeah, any evidence that God is just. So, I mean, I guess I can keep going with that, but I don't know if you guys have watched any of my videos lately about like free will and all that. Because honestly, I'm agnostic towards free will. I don't know if there's free will or not. There's good arguments for and against, for free will, and then for determinism. I think there's good arguments either way. But what I do know is that according to the definition of just, like what our legal system is built on, number one, like justice, God does not meet that standard. Definitely. God fails. There's 5 pillars of justice. And that's basically what every, like just about every democratic justice system is built on, the 5 pillars of justice, and God fails all 5. So let me see if I can find those pillars. I should probably memorize them, but the 5 pillars are, let's see, 5 pillars of justice. Impartiality, number 1. Proportionality. So impartiality, justice requires that cases are treated alike. There's no favoritism, no selective suffering, and no double standard. And time and again, we do not see that in the Bible. So no impartiality. Proportionality. Punishment or consequences must match the moral weight of the action. Time and again, we don't see that in the Bible. Just people are just offed for minor infractions. On top of that, people are punished eternally for not believing, according to the Bible God. Justice rejects infinite or excessive punishment for finite or accidental behavior. Accidental behavior. Uzzah. Was it Uzzah? Can't remember his name, but the dude who touched the ark and God smited him just like that. Dude was just trying not to let the ark fall. And it was David's fault anyway, wasn't it? Because David put it on a cart, which he wasn't supposed to do. Agency and responsibility. You are responsible for what you do, not what someone else does. So agency and responsibility, that we've seen violated time and again in the Bible. Due process. Maybe it's Uzziah. Yeah, maybe that's who it is. Uzzah, I think, is a king, right? King Uzzah. So I think it's Uzziah. Yeah. These names. 4, due process and not arbitrariness. Justice requires transparent standards. We do not have that with God. There are no transparent standards with God. And it's all up to God. There's no procedure. There's no due process. You can't have a trial, anything. Can't present evidence, nothing. And the reasons for decisions. We have no reasons for decisions. Prevention of unnecessary harm. That's number 5. And that's the one I've been really hitting on hard this week. Unnecessary harm. So no explanation for all the apparent unnecessary harm in the world. If this is a God-made world. So these 5 things are the backbone of every major justice system on the planet. United States, Canada, the EU, Great Britain. We can keep going. Australia. So every major democratic country uses these 5 pillars of justice. And so why is it that God is not subject to these? Why is God exempt from these? Still no guess. Big time P. When's my Sky Daddy coming? Yep. 2,000 years. It isn't Sunday. Where are the believers at? Yeah, I know. They're probably on other lives doing their thing, but we'll just keep it. Yeah, maybe I will restart. I know it's tough because there's like 95 people in here, right? It's tough to just restart it, but I think I'm good with that. I think I will restart it, and but we'll just do one restart. Well, Caleb, when I come back, request up and we can discuss. Oh, one question. Hey, TBH, do you think Jesus was a real person or an amalgam of the apocalyptic Jewish rabbis? Not the topic of discussion, so not going to answer that. All right, I'll be back. But stay tuned, YouTube, because we're just restarting it on the TikTok side because we're not getting any guests. And I don't know if you guys want to hear me talk for hours. I don't think you want that, do you? Because I'm not that exciting. So let's start it back up. Let's reboot things and let's see if we can get some guests up. Because that's what we're here for, right? We're here for the discussion. We're here for the conversation. We're here for the debate, the crash outs, additions to the Kickpole Hall of Fame. So that's what we're here for. Not here to hear me talk or to have a echo chamber. Pseudo V Science, good to see you. And we're back. Exactly. We are back. So hopefully we can get some guests up who want to talk. Actually, this might prompt a guest to come up because I have no likes. And I know a lot of like trolls like to come in early. You know, I don't know why they do that, but whatever. Not sure why that happens. I really wish I could share my screen with YouTube though. That would just be like, that'd be serendipitous if I could. Bathe my earlobes with your patient kind sound vibrations. Jonesy, you're too kind. I have a soothing voice. Okay. Well, you guys are too kind. Keep Christ in Christmas by shopping. Oh man. I am back. So maybe we can get some people to request up. All right. Did you see the new chat I made in the LGBTQ section? Yes, I did, Soy Sauce. That was awesome. So happy to see that you're putting that to good use already. Very happy to see that. Yeah. So sorry, we got to do the retap thing, but I think the live goal is still there. I'm still at 3 boxing gloves, so that's good. That doesn't restart. But I think you guys made one goal already, didn't you? I think so. So thank you for the heart me's. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. Uncle Smeg, it's good to see you. Yeah, let's share out the live. Where have I been? Yeah, Anthony, I was on yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. So I've been live and regularly. So I have. All right. So something about a second council over on YouTube side. Council of Constantinople. Hell was invented by a church council in the 6th century. Yeah, honestly, I don't really know about that. Yeah, I might have to read up on that. That's interesting. Yeah, they redefined justice to mean God's will. Exactly. So it's divine command. So they don't like the definition of justice, which is what we use for our justice system. But I wonder if, so it's like they have these double standards. Hey, Crystal Raid, welcome in. People from Crystal's live. Thank you for jumping in. Did you know that if USA did spend 10% less on the Christmas gifts, we could get clean water infrastructure all over the world for all? Yes, Matthias. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. And we could probably even do it with like a 10% reduction in our defense budget. Yeah, 1 year. So we could just fund it annually, right? Yeah, we could just do that. We can get everybody clean water. We could end homelessness. Couldn't we? Unhoused people, we could end it or hunger. Like people would not go hungry. And trouble has arrived. I never get old. That never gets old saying that. The likes are different. That's kind of cool. Are they? Huh. Yeah, because I mean, I've seen people with like different looking likes, and I thought that I had to do something on my end, but apparently not. I don't have to do anything on my end. So I knew she was trouble when she walked in. Exactly, DDJ. I mean, Is that from a movie or something like that? I knew, or it's a song. I'm not surprised our priorities are screwed up. Exactly, HLT. It is. I think it's a song or something like that, but I don't know. Regardless, I love it. That's such a great name. Right Out of Trouble. Trouble by Taylor Swift. There it is. Great cover by Walk of the Earth. Yeah. My eggnog is chunky. Should I be concerned? Ooh, thanks for the glasses. I would say I would be concerned. I would be slightly concerned. It is good to see everyone. But at the very least, we have somebody with evidence. Jaheim is up. Okay. Well, quest up, Jaheim. And we'll talk. Let's see. We have somebody in the queue. All right. So if you're in the queue, please be at least 18. Please also believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And also, please have evidence that your God is just. So we have our first guest, everybody. Jaheim. Let's bring up Jaheim. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, brother? All praise to the Most High. How y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well. All right. How old are you, Jaheim?
Well, I've been living in this flesh for about 20 years, about to be 21. But me as a spirit, I have no age, and that goes the same for you as well.
Okay. And which God do you believe in? The God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
Well, I believe in the Father. Well, I believe in the Father's name is Haile Selassie, and that is the Bible. Like that is the God that's written in the Bible multiple times.
Okay.
Right? His name was Yahweh, his name was Jehovah, his name was I am Adonai, but now his name is Haile Selassie. And that will be his name forever, as it's stated in Revelations, that he would have a new and higher name.
All right. What's your best evidence that this God is just?
Look. Wait, what?
You said on the throne of David. Like, what else would it be?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, right? It says that Ethiopia, this was in Psalms 80, right? Psalms 82, right? No, that's Psalms 82:6. That's the year of God. 68. Psalm 68. Ethiopia shall stretch out their hands to the Lord and call upon a son, right?
Okay.
And then when you look up Haile Selassie, who is Tafari in the flesh, right? He was born in Ethiopia because he was there actually going to stop Italy from conquering Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia was the only African country
Hold up.
that was not...
Hold up, Jaheim. How is this evidence that God is just?
Because we're showing how the true God lives.
How does
And he sat on the throne.
The true God
'cause
living demonstrate that
look,
he's just?
Look, because it says the one who sat on the throne of David and held the scepter of Judah and has the blood of King Solomon is the true and most high living God.
Okay, how
And
does that
he
demonstrate
told
that
you to
he's
wait for
how does
his
that
Christ.
demonstrate that he's just?
Well, I mean, hello.
Wait, what do you mean by just? You trying to say
I can give you a situation. I don't think my little brother can explain it.
All right.
Haile Selassie, right? He can only do what his father has done. His father was Ras McConnell. Ras McConnell
Okay.
was also titled the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, right? So when he was titled, what he would do when he would punish people, he would punish the male, but in the process of punishing them, he would take care of their family, which is sending them food, sending them money, whatever they had need. But in the people around, they didn't believe that.
All right, I gotta stop you right
he
there.
did was
Gotta stop you right
cruelty.
there.
So
How
making him a just man.
how does this demonstrate that God is just?
Because I'm showing that the son only learns from the father, but the father was showing him that every move that he made was just. He made righteous decisions so that the people that followed him in his kingdom, they never thought anything that he did, even when it was punishment, was cruelty.
Every move that God made was just?
Every move God
Okay.
made was just, for sure.
Got it. Okay, I got you. So, and you believe that, how much do you believe that the Bible is true? Like, how much of the Bible is true?
100%. The only thing that's not true in the Bible is the names and geographical locations. Everything in the scriptures are 100% true because it still give you the correct understanding of the full strength of the gospel of life, death, and resurrection.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, are you, so you would say then, would you say then that it is just to punish people for others' sins? Is that just?
Is it just to punish people for other sins?
Mhm.
I mean, we all get judged and punished for our own sins.
Okay. Yeah, for our own, but is it just to punish people for others' sins? Not sins
I mean,
not sins like you committed, but sins like somebody else committed. Is that just?
why would I be punished with somebody else's sins?
I'm asking you if it's just or not.
Only the Most High would have that decision to make.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah. I don't see why that. He don't even. The Most High doesn't even does that. So I don't see how that.
Most
so I
High
don't
doesn't
see-
do that?
Nah, in Hebrews 9:27, it's appointed for man to die once and then the judgment. So you will be judged for what you had done, not the people around you. Now, if a whole city is doing something,
Mhm.
he'll go save the righteous people that's in the city, but kill the rest of the people that wasn't. Example for what he did with Sodom and Gomorrah, going to get Lot.
Okay. Let's take a look at Joshua 7:24 to 7-25. You familiar with that story?
Joshua, the one that brought us back into the kingdom, the same one who went to the lady and told her to put a ribbon on her door. Whoever's inside her house will be saved, but everybody else here will be kicked out because they oppressed his people and he was coming to get the land that was promised to him back. That was all righteous.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm probably going to butcher this name, but when when Achan was punished, was it just then for his entire family to be unalived for his sin? Is that what you're
then
telling me?
God told that man not to do what? He told him, don't take nothing. And that man took it and held it and put it underneath and buried it in his tent.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just hurting him, that was hurting everybody.
Yeah.
So that decision that he made selfishly out of greed, all that being inside of his flesh, that was a righteous decision because that was the punishment that was told that everybody agreed to.
Okay. So it's okay then to unalive an entire family when one person commits a sin. That's what you're saying.
Okay, so just like it says in the scriptures that what? He blew his breath inside us to give us life, and he can take his breath out and we'll go back into the dust of the earth. But when he do, it'll go back to being a face upon the earth.
Okay.
So if the flesh of us come from the earth, but the spirit come from God and we all come from him, did he kill us or did he take himself out because that part of him ain't know what he was doing?
All right. Now you two are brothers, right?
Yeah, that's my brother.
Okay. So if your brother commits a crime, it's okay to punish you?
It's my brother. Why would I get punished for my brother's crime? God gonna punish him for
We
his
just
sins.
looked at a passage in which the women in the family got unalived for they got punished for Achan's sin.
Another
So
example.
so let me
and
ask you.
Acts,
Well, let me
remember
ask
the
you.
lady and her
Well, hold on.
husband,
You ducked the question. I'm asking
No, I
you a
didn't.
question.
I'm answering the question. You said you
All right.
gave me an example.
It's a yes or no answer. Okay, give me a yes or no answer, then you can give me the
You
explanation.
said, is it okay?
Is
Okay,
it justified
so
to punish you
I'm about
if
to
your
answer
brother
your
commits a
question. I
crime?
got your question.
Yeah,
I
just
got your
give me a
question.
yes or no, and then you can
with
explain.
the head of that house, that
All
man.
right, I gotta stop you right there. I need you to. You
ain't
because
letting me answer.
I need you to answer yes or no. Answer yes or no first, and then you can explain. I'm fine with you explaining. Just answer.
I would answer and then explain. Okay. Yes, and this is why it's yes, because the way God see it, because we all have the same spirit that comes from God. A man and a woman, when they come together and become one flesh, and he is the head, meaning, prime example, when Eve sinned against God, nothing happened. But when Adam did it, they got kicked out of the garden. When the man and Acts, when they both sold their house, and the man chose not to give all the money that he was supposed to God, and then his wife came and was on the same page as him. What happened? Both of them was killed. So in that same accent, when that happened with them, it wasn't just the man. That woman knew what happened as well because he buried it in the same house with them. And why do God not only get rid of the fathers, but he get rid of the kids? He said, I utterly destroy my enemies and there is no remnant. So that's God's judgment that's already there. So it's like, would that be righteous? Then that'd be me
All
telling
right,
God
got to
that,
put the
hey,
kibosh on the preaching. No more preaching. I'm done with the preaching.
You asked me to give you that question.
Yeah. You answered you answered with the explanation, but you're preaching. So
how am I preaching?
Are you preaching?
No,
yes,
I'm
you
giving
are.
you the evidence of my truth.
Yes, you are.
That's evidence.
Yes,
you said give you the answer why and then explain why not. Why I believe what I believe.
Yeah, that's it. I heard the explanation. So
you couldn't have if I didn't finish. You
I
heard
did.
what you figured that you was willing to
So
hear.
let me ask you this then. So let's just keep testing this. So so if the cops pick up your brother for a crime he committed, and then the judge sentences you to 20 years in prison, you're good with it, right? That's just. You good with it? You're
No,
gonna
he ain't God.
you're gonna serve time with a smile on your face?
He ain't God. Hold up, wait.
What's
Now,
the
mind
difference?
you, so mind you, the man and his household got killed. His brother, nothing happened to him.
We still ain't
So
answering my
whatever
question.
happens to
You're
my
still not
brother, what
answering my
happened to
question. I'm gonna
his
stop you right
household?
there. I'm gonna stop you right there.
No, because
I'm
we
gonna
gonna have to
stop
put it
you
in the
right
right
there.
light.
Gotta stop you right there. You're still not answering my question. Are you gonna serve that
Because
sentence with a smile on
you're
your
asking
face?
an irrelevant question.
Are you going to serve the sentence with a smile on your face? Yes or no? Because it's just.
Why would a man have to serve anything for another man?
If you're, I'm telling, I just asked you
Show
because
me that in the scriptures where
because there are people.
somebody had to pay the cost for their brother.
We just looked at a scripture right here on Joshua
That was a
7:24.
household. That was one household in Joshua of a man that defiled God.
You guys,
and his whole
you guys live
family
in the
got
same. You
destroyed
guys live
because
in
it
the
wasn't
same
gonna be no
household.
remnant.
Have you
Do
ever?
we live in the same?
Have you
No,
ever?
I am a head of my own house.
Have you ever
We
lived
are
in the
two
same
different
household?
men.
Have you ever lived in the same household?
Have we ever lived in the same household?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And statue, we would not be inside of the same household.
All right. Okay. So what you're telling me then is if your significant other,
If my
because you're
father
the
would
head of
have
your own
done
household, right?
something,
So if
if
you're
my
the
father would have had done something, I would have got killed.
Jaheim's brother, I'm talking, man. I'm talking. Hold on.
That would have happened.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that then that if your significant other cheated on you and unalived somebody to cover up the cheating, and the punishment to your significant other was to have you raped, you're good with that?
I am a male. So if my wife was to do something, she would get punished herself.
Yeah.
Won't nothing happen to me. I will be in charge of punishing my wife.
But that's not what happened in the Bible. So in the Bible,
what happened when the head did something, when the man did something, then the punishment came.
Yeah.
When the woman did something, because the woman is the
So
transgressor.
you're good
right?
with being graped if your wife commits adultery and gets punished for it. You're good with that.
Why would I be punished for my wife committing adultery? That's not even in the scriptures.
Okay. So what you're saying then? Hold on.
Laws that's not in the scripture. I was talking to my brother, not you. I'm listening.
Okay. So what you're saying then is that, okay, you're saying that never happened in the scripture?
There is nowhere in the scripture where a woman committed adultery and her husband got punished for it.
Okay. So if you committed adultery against your wife and the punishment is for your wife to be raped, you'd be good with that?
If I committed adultery, I am held to that. My wife is not.
Okay. So under what circumstance is it justified to grape a wife for the husband's infidelity?
Who's graping? Okay, hold on, wait. Me going to commit adultery only benefits me, right? If I go and rob the male next to me to benefit my household, right? Is that not benefiting everybody in the household? Now, if I was an habitual sinner, a person that continuously does this, and my wife know I do this and she went along with it, the kids that we had, they will be born into sin, not only because they're in the flesh, but of the sins of their mother and father. So God will get rid of all that.
All right. Let me ask the question again, because I didn't hear the answer. In what situation is it justified for a wife to be graped for a husband's infidelity?
Okay.
Oh.
Give you another one. I'm gonna give you it because you ain't hear the first one. So this is a situation where it'll be happening, right? So God sends his people out for war.
Oh,
right?
there are my rules.
So we go out for war, and he tells us.
I got a jellyfish, guys. The chat has voted you down, so I got to disconnect you. But hey, appreciate you guys.
Because the chat voted me down.
Yeah. So I got the jellyfish. Whoever sent the jellyfish, who sent them? Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate the gift. The going jellyfish was Scooty Scoot. Scooty Scoot gets the jellyfish award. So, yeah. Got to tell you guys, if you're defending rape, if you're defending the punishing of the innocent, my chat don't like that. Yeah. Just saying. I was locked in. I was good because, see, the thing is I'm kind of getting this sense of peace over, like, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I'm not guaranteeing I'll be calm all the time. I still may get a bit spicy, but I was locked in on that conversation. I was willing to take it to the end, but not my chat. And chat, you do definitely have a voice in this live. So, this is a constitutional monarchy. 137 people are ignorant, Dion. That doesn't make sense. All right. So we got 2 more who are guests who are up here. But I'm just telling you. Those are big jellyfish. Yes, they are. Yeah. But yeah, if you're advocating, if you're defending the punishing of the innocent, it's not going to go well. Just telling you. All right. Well, Helios, that's not the topic today. Spinoza's God. I know something about it, but let's talk about that when we're talking about God's existence, with God, whether or not God's real. And on top of that, I'm really focused on like Abrahamic God believers. All right, we got another guest in the queue. Cobain 007. Well, I'm glad you found us, Divinely Planted. All right, Cobain, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How old are you?
I'm doing good too. Thank you for asking. I'm 35
All right,
on a good day.
excellent. And do you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
The God of the Bible,
All right.
which is
And
the Torah.
okay, what is your best evidence that God is just?
My best evidence that God is just. Well, I mean, I would say that he gave his only begotten son.
Okay. And how does that demonstrate that he's just?
Well, okay. So when you say just, you're adhering to a morality, right?
Yeah, it's actions that are determined to be moral and right, or a sense of fairness. That's the dictionary definition.
Actions that are determined to be moral and right.
Morally
Well,
right
that's kind of.
and fair.
Well, isn't that like circular reasoning right there?
No, I said morally right and fair. So you're telling me the
That's what I'm
dictionary is
saying.
circular?
Well, no.
Based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair.
So I'm asking you what a moral is. You're saying whatever morally right is.
No,
That's
you
not
asked
really
me
the
what
answer.
just is, and I just explained what just is. Based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair.
Right, and it's just basically you pawned off the word just for moral, and it doesn't matter.
Okay,
I mean,
you got to take that up with Oxford Language Dictionary, not me. I'm
Right,
just
but
going
I'm
by the
saying if you're-
dictionary definition. So you're telling me
and I
that,
agree with
are you saying that the Oxford Language Dictionary is wrong?
No, I'm saying you yourself are a comprehensive thinker, right? Outside of the Bible.
Okay.
I'm saying you can challenge the Bible, but you can't challenge Oxford.
Okay, so give me your evidence that Oxford Language Dictionary is wrong.
No. I asked you a question. I'm saying, is this what you're suggesting?
Well, I'm going by the standard of the Oxford Language Dictionary because it's
Right, but
demonstrated
I'm
to be
saying-
correct. The Bible has not
We-
been demonstrated to be correct at all.
I'm asking, what is your compass of what you consider correct? How do you even like? I mean, what's your framework of-
Observation, verification, empirical evidence. We don't have any of that with the Bible.
Whose observation?
What do you
Whose
mean,
empirical
okay,
evidence?
so you're diverting away from what the question is. You haven't given me any
I'm
evidence yet.
hitting it head on. I'm
No,
hitting
you're
it
not. You're
head
really
on.
not. You're really not. So
Because what I'm
are you
saying
telling me
is-
that you don't know what just means?
I'm saying I adhere to the Bible. You're saying you adhere to Oxford, and I'm saying what is more credible about Oxford than the Bible?
What's more credible about the Oxford Language Dictionary is that it
Than the
has
Bible.
it has empirical evidence behind it. The Bible has no evidence behind it.
Right. And so I'm saying your
So
thought
it's just
process
a-
ends there.
Yeah, because it has evidence.
Right. But
What
I'm
else
saying
do I
your
need?
circular reasoning though.
How?
When I'm asking you what is just, you're saying, well, based off of the definition, just is what's justice.
I didn't
What is
say that. That's not what I said. Do we need to go back and replay what I said?
Yes, we do have to replay what
Do we
you said.
we do have to replay
Yes, we do. We really do.
that? Okay. And if you're wrong, are you going to admit that you're wrong?
There's no wrong or right.
If you're wrong, are you going to admit that you're wrong?
You haven't
If
articulated what
you're
wrong
wrong,
is.
are you going to admit you're wrong? No, you said that I said something specific. If I didn't say that, that would make you wrong, correct?
What is wrong according to you?
Okay, I'm not going to play these games, man.
It's not a game. That's what I'm saying. You have to.
Do you
adhere
know
some
what
type of
do you know
moral-
what the definition of wrong is?
you have to adhere to some type of credible
Do
moral
you
standard,
know
or
I have a
even just.
okay? What makes you think I don't have a moral standard?
I'm saying it would not
What
be as
makes you
moral.
think I don't
I'm
have a
answering you.
moral standard?
I'm answering you head on.
You're not. You're dodging and evading, and this is a very intellectually dishonest conversation so far. I'm not
Right,
impressed.
but you can't put definition on what a moral is. I can.
Okay. So, what makes you think that I have no moral standing, no moral grounding?
We can't even get there because you haven't defined what a moral is.
Why do I need to define it? I'll do it according to your standards if you want. You want me to
Okay,
you want me to bust you up on an internal critique? We'll do that. That's fine.
Well, I'd like. Well, do you agree with it though?
Do I agree with what?
Is that is the moral standard?
You want to use God as your moral standard?
I'm asking, without my God and and our moral standard, what standard are you adhering to, rather than your subjective opinion?
What do you think? How do you think I have a subjective opinion? Demonstrate that.
Because without a deity, it is simply your subjective opinion.
Demonstrate that.
It would not be defined as
Prove
a
it.
moral.
Demonstrate it.
Okay. Okay. I say that there is a God. Okay.
Okay.
Am I right?
I don't think you are. I don't believe you.
Okay. Am I subjectively wrong, or am I objectively wrong?
You are objectively wrong.
Objectively.
Yep.
Do you see what you did there? You just refuted yourself.
Okay. Do things objectively exist? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Okay. So things objectively exist. Okay.
Of course.
All right. And of things that objectively exist, can we demonstrate that they exist?
Absolutely.
Okay. So demonstrate that God exists.
Well, hold on real quick. I mean, that's not fully.
Demonstrate that God exists, because you said because I say you're objectively wrong. You just said, hold on, Cobain. You just said things we can demonstrate. Things objectively exist. We can demonstrate that things objectively exist. So I just asked you, demonstrate God exists.
Right. And so for me, it's the uniformity.
It's not
of
answering the
nature.
question.
I literally just answered it head on. What are you
It's the
talking
uniformity
about?
of nature. What does
You
that mean?
literally cut me off right in the middle of me saying it and say I didn't answer the question.
Okay,
It shows a
uniformity
little biasness.
uniformity of nature. What does that mean?
I challenge you to be intellectually honest.
I am intellectually honest. What does uniformity of nature mean?
Uniformity of nature.
Should I troll him, guys? Yeah, I'll do it. All right, go ahead.
Well, if you're gonna troll me, I'm gonna go and disengage.
Okay.
Are we? You just said you're gonna be intellectually honest.
This is just. It's just ridiculous. I'm not here to play games, man. I mean, look, if you're gonna sit here and challenge me on what moral means, I don't have to fucking define moral for you. If you don't know what moral means, then what are we having a conversation for? If I have to define just for you, why are we having a conversation? I mean, you came up here with evidence that God is just, right? So if you have evidence, just present your fucking evidence. That's all you got to do. I don't want to play these games. Yes, actually I can, Cobain. I spent, before you came here, Cobain, I spent 20 minutes going over my moral. Why are you fucking coming up? You're just going to waste more of my time. Get the fuck out of here. You're just wasting more of my time. That's ridiculous. If you have to sit here and define what just means, you came up here with evidence. You are not the intellectually honest person, because there is a question there. There's implied consent. The question is, what's your best evidence that God is just? So I came up here with the trust that you requested up with evidence that God is just, not with a bunch of bullshit questions. So that's intellectually honest. We're not running from shit, Cobain. I'm right here. God knows where to find me. God knows where to find me. So you're just crying. Am I a fan of Matt Dillahunty? I wouldn't say no. I don't really listen. I don't actually listen to Matt Dillahunty. Actually, I just did define just okay. So we're gonna okay. This is ridiculous. I wouldn't say. Okay, I'm not gonna play these games. Got to put the kibosh on the preaching. No,
Her husband got.
I still may get. And on
which is
And
the Torah.
okay, what is your best evidence that God is just? So
My best evidence that God is just.
everybody remember Cobain said I could not define just.
Son,
Okay. He gave, and how does that demonstrate that he's just?
well, okay. So when you say just, you're adhering to a morality, right?
Yeah, it's actions that are determined to be moral and right, or a sense of fairness. That's the dictionary definition. There it is. Just defined it.
Actions that are determined to be moral and right.
Morally
Well,
right
that's kind of
and fair.
Well,
And then I
well,
went
isn't
up
that
and
like
looked up the
circular
dictionary
reasoning right there?
definition. No. Yeah, I said morally right and fair. So you're telling me the
That's what I'm
dictionary is
saying.
circular?
Well,
It's
no.
based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair.
So I'm asking you what a moral is. You're saying whatever morally right is.
No,
That's
you
not
asked
really
me
the
what
answer.
just is, and I just explained what just is. Based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair.
Right.
Boom. I defined it for you. So you sitting there saying I couldn't define it, I defined it twice. So you were an intellectually dishonest person, Cobain. I defined it twice. And you're telling me the dictionary is wrong. And I even told you, take it up with the dictionary. So why does he think that moral is the same thing as just? Yeah, two different meanings. Exactly. That's why it says morally right and fair. Yeah, they're not synonyms. Actually, more than twice, to be fair. Yeah. So, again, moral and justice are not synonyms. Morality was the descriptor to right, not the definition. Thank you. Exactly. So, that's why it was a dishonest conversation. If he said he was going to disengage, and I just helped him out. That's all I did. It's like, you wanted to disengage? So, okay, disengage. See you later. So it's just, yeah, words don't mean words. So you have to, see, that's the thing is you redefine the words, then your worldview it's undefeated, right? Because if you just redefine everything to make it what you mean, then nobody can debate you. Yeah, I've never seen anyone have a problem with the dictionary. That's just unhinged. Exactly. And he never had evidence to begin with. He just came up here to fuck with me. That's all he came up here to do. And then he said, run from God. Is he still even in here? I don't think he is. But see, this is the thing. After a time, like I want to have respectful conversations. I want to have good, I mean, you guys have seen me like 90% of the time I'm having like respectful conversations. But when people come up and act like that, it's just like, what the heck, man? It's just dishonest. Words are hard, said every Christian. Exactly. So we got 171 people in here and not one person wants to talk to me. Not one person is requesting up. Really? Wow. Your freedom to choose to whatever you want is all the proof you need. That's freedom. So you've just established that we have freedom, but I don't know how that's just. God is not just. I can't stand atheists. Darth Dawkins. Oh, hey, I think I've made it. I might have made it into like a different level of recognition. If Darth Dawkins is coming up here saying I can't stand atheists. All right. Well, you're entitled to your opinion, Darth. Pipeman 48, Milton and Batman. Now, what makes me think I have a sneaking suspicion at least one of these are Phil Bros. So I think there might be a crash out coming, guys. We actually might break the kick pull record. Let me remind everybody what it is. We might break it today. It might be just one of those days, huh? So let's remind everybody what it is. The kick pull record is... Oh, I have to go find it. I have to go find the channel. It's in my Discord channel. If you guys want to see it, it's the Kickball Hall of Fame. So the all-time record so far is 98 votes against, 11-4. But now, if you want margin, well, 87, that's still the margin. So Create.project has the margin and the number of votes. And Chill Guy 1 has the percentage. That's like the highest percentage because Landlocked Sailor Mark accidentally tapped the happy face, so it's actually 57-1. Prove you exist. My hands. I think therefore I am. Yeah, I think I've made it to the big time, everybody. If Darth Dawkins and his 11 followers are here. All right. A fake Gary lookalike. So, all right. So if you're in my guest queue, we got some rules. There's first TikTok terms of service. Can't be driving. Also, not even hands-free. And you'll have to be 18 or older. Also, believe in the God of the Torah, the Bible, or the Quran. And also, please have evidence ready that God is just. So, we'll bring up Pipe Man 48. How's it going?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 29.
All right. And which God do you believe in?
The God in the Bible.
All right. And what's your best evidence that this God is just?
This God is just is because even throughout time, from the time that Christ was crucified up until this second of this day, he has always done right for people who believe in him, and who have obeyed the Bible and who have been saved and are Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Even without that, there's still just things that are done for people who are known for doing things that are bad. Not everything that a person does that is bad is bad. They don't do bad things all day, every day. But I don't really agree with what the other guy was saying. I forgot what name, 007 something, whatever his
Cobain?
name was.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cobain. My question to you, because for whatever reason, your page always comes across my FYP like you're live or whatever. And
that might be a sign, bro.
it might be a
It
sign.
might
Yeah,
be a sign to
you know
drop.
what?
Yep, to drop this belief in God. That might be your sign.
There you go. You know what? Good answer. My question to you is, and I'm curious. I'm just truly curious to what you're gonna say, and I just want you to be fully honest because we got a lot of people in here.
Mhm.
Let's just say, as an example, right? No matter what you believe in, whoever it is, or if it's nothing at all, right?
Yep.
What do you think, you personally? What do you think, or how are you going to feel? What do you think you're going to feel like when you pass away, whatever time that is, whenever it happens, and God is real? How some Christians have come in here, tried to tell you, and you end up going to hell, and you don't get saved and covered by the blood of Christ. How do you think you're going to feel?
Yes, I have eternal damnation then. Now, first of all, we have to demonstrate that which God are we talking about that I would come across. You're just saying it's your God?
I'm only talking about, in my beliefs, there's only one God,
Okay.
and that's God in the Bible.
Okay.
Right. Like
So-
I said when I
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'm just eternally damned. And you know what? I would kind of say to God? Because I'm assuming I'll at least get a chance to say something before he sends me down there. But at the very least, I'm assuming you'll at least hear me, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, I would say, God, you're not a very just God, and I don't want to be there anyway because you're not just. And actually, for sending me down here for just simply not believing, for eternal punishment, well, you're an asshole. Fuck you. That's what I would say to God.
Okay, so my response to that is, so I heard everything you just said.
Mhm.
So you said you would say F you to God because you're not going to allow me to into heaven because you're not just.
Yeah,
So
you're not a just
is there
God, and I don't
any-
want to be with you anyway. So fuck you.
Okay,
Because you fail on all 5 pillars of justice. You are an immoral God. So fine. I guess you run things. So I guess fine. You're going to torture me forever.
okay,
I guess that's what it's going to be.
Okay, so even though Jesus Christ came and died on the cross for us, you don't think that was the most just thing he could have ever done for everybody?
Nope.
Why do you say that?
It was a reprehensible thing. Is Jesus, would you say Jesus is innocent?
Innocent of what?
Innocent of anything. Did
Yes.
Jesus commit a single sin?
He didn't sin.
Okay,
No,
he
did
didn't
not
sin. So essentially what you're saying then is God sent an innocent person to be sacrificed for everybody else's damnation, right?
So God the Father, God the Son, which is Jesus Christ, and then the Holy Spirit, we understand that that's the trilogy. It's 3 in 1.
Mhm.
So the Bible, and I had to find the verse. I'm not going to exit out of here to get to my Bible app.
No,
But
you don't need to do all that. I know what you're talking about.
okay, yeah. So when there's somewhere in the Bible, I can't remember what book it's in, but
Mhm.
it says that Jesus Christ came as the Lord in flesh. Like the Lord, as in God, came in flesh. That's why he came here so that he could die on the cross for our sins.
Yeah.
So everything wrong that I have done, everything wrong that you have done, and everything wrong that everybody that was ever born has done.
All right. I know the
was-
story, so I got to stop the
Okay,
preaching.
okay.
Got to stop the
Okay.
preaching. So let me
Oh,
ask you a
I'm-
question.
hold on.
No,
go
you
ahead,
are
sir.
preaching because you're telling me like shit I already know, and
Okay,
also
go ahead.
everybody here knows what it is. So you don't need to go through all that. But
All right, go ahead.
okay, thank you, Pipe Man. So let me ask you a question. In what circumstance is it justified to punish an innocent person for another's crime?
Repeat that one more time for me.
Under what circumstance is it justified to punish an innocent person for another's crime or sin?
I don't think. No, not that I don't think. That's not what's happening, because there is nobody that's innocent. The only person that could hold the rank of innocent
Mhm.
would be Jesus Christ himself.
So you're saying then that even if another person commits a sin, God is justified in punishing somebody who didn't commit that sin because that person is not innocent.
Yeah, there's a reason why he sent him. There's a reason
Ooh,
why
I
he
smell a
came to
jellyfish
Earth.
coming. Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know where jellyfish comes from, besides the ones that live in the ocean.
Mm.
But there's a reason why he came and died on the cross, because I don't want you to tell me that I'm preaching, because I don't want to get cut off when I'm trying to make a point. But I also don't want
we
to.
already know all the
booted-
we know
booted
the
out of-
backstory.
out of
You don't
there.
you don't need to get into all that. Oh, and there it is. Yeah. So the jellyfish means, Pipe Man, that when somebody does a jellyfish, it means they want to move on to the next guest. So appreciate you coming up.
No problem.
All right. So wow. Man, chat, you got itchy trigger pew pew fingers today. Man, just like that. Woo. Goodness. Well, I think it was past the 5-minute mark, so that's technically not a spawn kill. So I'm good with it. I may like, like if you're like throwing up jellyfish like the first 30 seconds, and because Pipe Man he didn't, like 30 seconds in, but yeah, when you're justifying punishing innocent people, yeah, that's not going to go over well. I hear that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Double E. I have never sinned. So then that's even worse, because that means that God then is punishing me for not having ever committed a sin. And if that's the case, then that's even less moral. So Tony Too Cool, you can invite yourself up. You've got the little blue and pink people at the bottom of your screen. So you can, yeah. So trust helps those who help themselves. All right. So just be sure that you're at least 18 and you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran, and you have evidence ready that God is just. So let's move on to Milton. How's it going, Milton?
Hello.
Hello,
Can you hear
Milton. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
That's
How
what's up.
how
That's
old are
what's
you?
up. I am 41, getting ready to be 42.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
But
And which God do you believe in?
I believe in the God of creation.
Okay. Is that the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
Um, they're all the same, but it's been
Mhm.
misconstrued so much through all these different ideals of everybody else that wants to fix and do things and have power and control.
Okay.
It's been rewritten, but the God of creation is basically not the big boom theory, but basically the theory that created life and existence itself.
Okay.
It's an idea.
One question is, do you affirm or deny that Jesus is your savior?
Jesus, if he even existed, could be my brother, but he's not my savior.
Okay. Okay. And then one last question, just so I know who I'm talking, because I want to talk to a certain type of believer, which, you know, and I'm not, it's just nothing to do with beliefs. It's just who I want to talk to. One last question, Milton. Do you believe that a mind created the universe?
I believe an idea created the universe. The mind and idea go together, but I don't know whose mind it is. So I'm only speculating when I even try to come up with a fucking answer. I'm speculating because I don't know.
Okay. All right. Because I want to,
There's no science that proved.
Mhm.
There's
go
no
ahead.
science, no efforts, no anything that have proved to me that there is actually a God out there. But I have a imagination and I have morals, so therefore I have to believe in something that's going to make me be a good person and do good things. As far as heaven and hell, I don't know. I'm already living in hell and I try to make the best and make it heaven.
Mm,
So it's kind of crazy when you think about the whole thing because all we could do is speculate.
okay.
All we could do is read books. We do not know the truth.
Okay. I hear you. Well, hey, Milton, I want to talk to people who like believe in the Abrahamic God. And it sounds like you're more like a deist, you know, that's what it kind of sounds like, which I got no issue with. It's just,
I have read the Bible.
okay. Well, I want to believe in somebody who like,
I have read the Bible. And
was there, do you believe that there's a being created existence? Sounds like you're ambivalent to that. Yeah. Not sure.
Right. There's an energy that created existence.
All right. Yeah. I want to talk to people who believe like a being created the
Energy.
universe.
I don't believe there's a guy sitting in the sky looking down at me telling me be good or you're going to hell.
Okay. All right. Well, see, I don't believe that either. See,
Feel me?
we're on the same page as far as that concerned. What I would encourage you to do, Milton,
But I believe there's
is I would encourage you to join my Discord because
I'm listening.
it's just that on my lives I want to talk to people who either believe in like the Abrahamic God or God that like created existence. You know what I mean? So if you're kind of not there,
So you want to talk to people that you can debate with and not build with.
the reason why is because we're talking about that God is just, and if you believe like there's energy, that's not God is just, right? There's like no justice in energy. You know what I mean? It's like it's just
God is not just.
Well, there we go. We're on the same page.
The energy is
that was easy.
not just.
All
There's
right.
no justice in this world, period.
Okay, I got you. Well, hey, I want people who believe that God is just and have evidence for it. But like I said, I encourage you to join my my Discord because we have discussions about that with like all types of believers. All right.
Anybody that can prove there's justice or any just in this world, they're living in delusional land.
All right. Hey, I might be with you on that. But hey, I appreciate you coming up, Milton. All right. Have a good one.
That's what's up.
All right. Yeah. So I want to talk to people who believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran, who are at least 18 and have evidence that God is just. So that's the conversation I want to have. All right. So let's just respect that boundary. But like I said, if you want to talk about some other type of God, come on over to my Discord. So, all right. So let's go to Tony Too Cool. How you doing, Tony?
What's going on, man? Good.
Not much.
Good.
How you doing? Hope you're well.
Good.
Right on.
I'm good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
How
old are you?
I'm coming up on 30 pretty soon here.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And which God do you believe in?
You know, so I do want to piggyback off Milton, but I will take a firm stance on it. So I do agree with what he had said, where it's, you're essentially talking about the same God. And in the comments, people are like, well, they can't be the same. There's contradictions. But it's like, I look at it as like different software for different operating systems.
Okay. What do you believe in a God that created existence? Like a mind?
I
Okay.
do, but I don't like to use the word like creator or designer, because as soon as we remove those words, it's kind of like, well, how would we look at it? But yeah, I do think so. And you're like saying, energy doesn't really count, but as far as like modern physics go, energy does have
Well, I
consciousness.
didn't quite say it like that. I said that energy, like there's like really no justice in terms of what energy does or doesn't do. Like it just kind of is, it's a bit,
There's
in terms of
opposite
intent,
and
it's,
equal reactions.
yeah, there's opposite and equal reactions, but I think in terms of intention, it's inert. That's what I mean. So like, this is kind of the same as like having like I believe in the laws of physics, right? So I believe that the laws of physics created all this, or had, was instrumental in all this. Actually, I don't believe anything was the universe was created. I misspoke. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at, Tony, is that, because a God being just, that implies intent, right? And do you think that energy has intent?
I think that we see it in a lot of different ways. Yeah. I mean, the way light travels through water, taking the path of least resistance is definitely behind energy, right? Like that's
Okay.
conscious.
And then could this God believe in then, like if there was injustice in the world, does this God have the ability to change it? Like to make unjust things just again?
Yeah, I think that it's basically like, are you familiar with like Spinoza's God,
Mhm.
like that Einstein
I
subscribed
am.
to?
I
And that's, yeah.
don't know. That doesn't seem like, I mean, because that doesn't like line up with what I'm trying to talk about here. Like if it's Spinoza's God,
You're
so
specifically talking about the Abrahamic God, correct?
or God, or at least a mind that created the universe at the absolute minimum. Yeah, but I want to talk to people who believe in the Abrahamic God, because
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
because I think it's definitely an abstraction, but I don't think it's wrong. I think that it's very dumb. Like the Abrahamic God is a very like appeal to the common denominator to disseminate the information.
All right. Well, I guess we're kind of in the same boat then. But hey, just like Milton, I encourage you to join my Discord and we can talk about it there more.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. All right. So yeah. Let's all right. So one more time. And I think, okay, that was 4 minutes for Milton, 2 minutes for Tony. So like my patience is shortening here. So I'm probably, if it's like a Spinoza's God believer or something like that, I'm just going to have really short patience with them because this is like the third time I've had to say it. So if you're in the queue, please be sure that you're at least 18. Please also be sure that you believe in the God of the Torah, the Bible, or the Quran. And then also be sure that you have evidence that God is just. So, all right, let's go to K John. How's it going, K John?
Well, I'm gonna have to first apologize to you. I was trying to type it in, but I got pulled up here first. I don't believe there is a God.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, John. K
So
John. All right.
yeah, sorry.
Yep, no worries. You got pulled up somehow. Maybe he was tapping and did that. No problem. Yeah, I feel like Pikachu, I've considering that, but I feel like I got enough up there. It seems, I don't know, it just feels busy. I'd rather just say it and just say it every time. 60K. Wow. 60K. 172 folks in here. But yeah, we want to get to the best evidence that God is just. But I got a sneaking suspicion that this was a hard one to talk about. It's a hard one to talk about. But it's really interesting though. So we got a Darth Dawkins drive-by. It's really interesting. I was listening to Darth Dawkins stuff like recordings on like the Atheist Experience from like 15 years ago. And interesting. much more I don't know, civil, yes. Probably the word I'm looking for. Much more civil when the mute button actually works. Short, there's no evidence that the God of the Bible is just. Magic Casty, Magic Atsky? I think that's how it is. Darth is good. People just don't answer his questions. Not from what I've seen. And I think people do. And I think the other problem is that it doesn't go both ways. He's letting you choose what God you want to serve. And how's that just, Cindy? So like if so let me get this straight. So we've got this God exists. According to Cindy, this God exists. Yet this God just sits back, doesn't tell anybody he exists, doesn't verify for anybody he exists, and just lets people believe what they want to believe. Do you get people up on live? Yeah, usually it's like my guest requests are like huge. You know, like I get lots of people up here. It's a long list, but not today. So this God just sits back, doesn't give anybody any evidence, and just lets people believe what they want to believe. Well, there's no evidence that this God exists. He does tell people through prophets, and that's what every other God does. So that means every God, Yusuf, every God is real. No, I don't choose to ignore him. Well, how about this, Cindy? How about you come up and give me evidence that God is real? I guess we'll switch it up a little bit. Might just have to switch it up. And we'll see. And Cindy acts like she knows me. Like, who are you, my next door neighbor or something? You definitely don't live in my house. So how can you know me? How late am I? You're here, man. You're right on time. Except that we don't have any guests right now. So if you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and you have evidence that God is just, come on up and let's talk. Nice mic. Oh, thanks. It is I don't know. It's a Fifine like K688 or something like that. You would have to test the claims of the prophets. Who says I have to test the claims of the prophets? So that's the only problem, is that all the prophets are untestable. It's all it's all unfalsifiable. So again, that means that they're all true. All of them are true. The problem is, as an atheist one, she said they don't know why the laws of physics are as is. It's evident. And Cindy just says it's evident everywhere that there is a creator. No, Cindy, that's not true. Because we have evidence of the laws of physics everywhere I look. So how come we have evidence for both the laws of physics, evolution through natural selection, and abiogenesis, and we have evidence of creator? That doesn't make sense. That's a contradiction. That's like saying we have evidence that this person committed the crime, and then we have evidence that they didn't commit the crime. And it's the same exact evidence. We have fingerprint evidence that this person did and did not commit the crime. Makes no sense. It's silly. So if God proves his existence, we would no longer have the option to choose to have faith. Yeah, there would be no more faith, right? We would just know, monkey. Exactly. Yes, if they are all true and they're all claiming they're coming from God, then God is true. No, Yusuf. Because some don't come from the same God that you believe in. We had prophets for every major religion, for every religion. Exactly. So he needs to withhold proof to give us the option of faith. And why do we need faith, monkey? What's the purpose of faith? So now we just devolved into circular reasoning. So God has to hold back because we have to have faith. Why do we have to have faith? What's the point? Then Moses had no faith? Exactly. That means Moses didn't have any faith. Exactly, HLT. Adam and Eve didn't have any faith because they knew who God was. We don't need faith, but holding on to faith passes the test. And why do we need to be tested, monkey? If God is all-knowing, why does God need to test us? He already knows. See, it just makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense at all to have free will. And again, is there free will in heaven, Serge? I guess I'm just going to talk to chat today, but that's okay. Why doesn't God want us to have the knowledge of good and evil? Exactly. Why doesn't? Like, what's the big secret? We're just supposed to figure it out. Let's see over in YouTube. Yeah, mind-boggling, HLT. God of trees, waters, mountains, and the air are much more real to me, though I am atheist. Okay. Only mature people can appreciate difficult tasks. Children complain when they do chores. I don't even know what the fuck that means. No one here is complaining. If there's free will in heaven, I believe. Okay, so if there's free will in heaven, then that means in heaven, Serge, if I made it to heaven, I have the free will to choose to unalive somebody. Then what's the point of heaven? If you see Cindy has no evidence, so Cindy resorts to threats, and that's how it always goes. Yeah, 168 in no ops, so that's how it always goes. So Cindy said, let's see what Cindy said. Cindy said, where is Cindy's comment? When you stand before him, it's unfortunate what will transpire for both of us. So how do you know I'm going to stand before him? No evidence of that. I will be mourning for you. So no evidence of that. This is wild to me. No evidence that we'll be standing before him. No evidence of this God at all. And then resorts to threats because she doesn't have any evidence. Truth. Well, then it should be easy for you to convince me. It would be so easy. And don't use caps. My mods don't like that. But yeah, just give me evidence that God is just. Believers, request up. Yes. Agreed. Hyperbolic spiritual threats. I mean, this is the thing. This is just like kind of saying, if you don't go to bed at 10 o'clock, the monsters in the closet are going to get you. That's all this set. That's all that means. That's all you're saying. Have you ever prayed before? Yes, of course I have, Serge. I was a Christian for over 30 years. Are you atheist or agnostic? I'm sure you said it before. I'm agnostic atheist, Soros. You'll figure out one day. Yeah. Can I join your live? I have testimonies of the Lord existing. All right. Well, request up. I guess we're going to expand it a little bit. Maybe I'll change it to God is real. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Properties. Let's just change that to God is real. Oops. All right. I'll still keep the creepy looking God up there. I kind of like that picture. I'll still keep it up there. All right. Busy Shivit? I don't know what that means, but BZY. All right. So let's just have evidence that God is real. We're going to switch it up a little bit. All right. BZY. How's it going?
Hello?
Hi. How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
All right. And which God do you believe in?
The God of the Bible and the Quran, Jesus Christ.
All right. And what's your best evidence that this God is real?
So I actually have 3 living testimonies and, physical signs, like in reality, not just a dream.
Okay.
And also like spiritual encounters.
All right. I don't want to hear the testimonies. What I want to hear though is, how did you determine that they were true versus all the other testimonies in every other religion?
In a way, because I'm just now born again through Christ,
Mhm.
about like 9 months going up there. And so I looked at it with the other religions. I see
Yeah.
how it's specifically Christianity that is telling people to sacrifice their old ways, like lust or like any other like sin that is described in the Bible.
hmm
I see that other religions, those followers are actually still doing the same things like that Christianity, that God is telling them not to do.
Well, how do we
So,
know? But how do we know that that's the way to do it? What if the other
well,
people, doing their old ways is the way that to do it, and God is pleased by that? How would you be able to determine which of the ones God
well,
wants?
okay, well, I feel like in a way, like you were saying, I feel like even without someone believing in a like in a God,
hmm
the way that you do it, if it may be like lust or weed or anything like that, because those are things I struggle with. I
Okay.
feel like that stuff still defiles your body, no matter if you believe or not. So I feel like this God telling you not to do these things is actually helping you to better you. And I can say that He's actually given me like the urge to never do these things. Like I was born again and I woke up that morning happy for about 2 weeks and like I didn't even want to like lust or do any of those other things. I
Okay.
was an entirely brand new person.
Okay. And so people like I've had Hindus come up here and say the exact same thing to me. So that makes Hinduism true, right?
Well, in a way, people, their experiences.
Yeah.
I'm not calling myself a Freemason. I think that's what that is. Someone who believes in all gods is one true God. That in a way that's how it's connected. I don't necessarily think that's true. But I
Okay.
mean, like I was saying, I'm new to like this religion stuff. But before I was a believer, I didn't believe in any God. I just lived my life how I
Yeah.
wanted to.
hmm
I was another believer, like an atheist in a way. I felt like, when you die, that's it, or your spirit probably just goes to like another world or something. I don't know. I just
hmm
came up with my own beliefs, but when I truly cried out one night after I stopped smoking weed, I cried out to Jesus and I was like, Lord, just please forgive me for my sins. I woke up and I was an entirely new person.
Okay. So again, there's people in other religions that have had the same exact
Yeah,
experience. Like,
yeah, I understand.
yeah. So like, for example, I talked to a lady a while ago who said that the god Apollo from the Greek gods touched her on the back or on her back, like on her shoulder. Not that way, chat, but on her shoulder. And so she erected a altar for Apollo. So Apollo's real then, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm new to this religious stuff, so I really don't know.
You really don't
I
know?
just,
Well, then
I
how
just
could
know
you
that.
well then how could you know then that this is Jesus and God if this lady had this experience with Apollo?
Because of the dreams I wanted to tell you about, the testimonies.
Right. But other people have, that's what I mean is other people have had dreams. Like I've had people who've dreamt of like Shiva and Vishnu and the Hindu religions. I've had people who've dreamt of Norse gods. I've had people who've dreamt of Wiccan gods. So if we're going by your dreams and that you cried out to God and these people have all
Mhm.
cried out to their gods, that makes all of these gods real, right?
Mm, I couldn't say yes to that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So then how do you I mean, how confident are you that Jesus and God are real?
Well, like I was saying, my dreams. I could just tell you like one dream. Just one dream.
Well, I mean, yeah, but how confident are you? Like 100%,
I'm
50%,
100% confident. Yeah,
100%? Okay.
100%. Yeah.
So how could you possibly be 100% confident when other people of other religions have had dreams of their gods? So then
That's
that,
what I'm saying. I can't really say that. Everybody is their own different,
sure,
person. I'm
but
not sure. I can't really
you
like
realize,
explain.
yeah, but I hear you. I hear you, BZY. But you kind of see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah, I
they've had,
understand.
yeah, if they've had their other experiences, but you're saying, hey, I've had my experiences, that makes it real for me. That's what I'm trying
Right.
to ask you is then what tests could we run to distinguish between if you really had an experience with God or if it was a delusion? What test could
Well,
we
I'm
run?
sorry. Um, you saying what test can we run
Yeah,
to
to
prove that that's true?
distinguish if it was a delusion or if you really saw like experienced Jesus and God.
No, these aren't delusions. Like these are things I asked for before I even went to
Sure.
sleep or anything like that.
But
Like
again, these other people in other religions have asked for these things too before they had their encounters or before they received them. So again, that makes all these other religions true.
in a way, what you're saying, um, actually, talked to somebody who was also a true believer in Christ, were like longer in that relationship with him.
hmm
They were saying how people, they in a way they manifest their God, you know.
Yeah.
In a way, I feel like from what I experienced, I feel like the Father, you know, he is a manifestation. He is the creation of all. So I feel like in a way he can warn people or show people what other people's perspective on God. I feel like he shows them that in their dreams. But I feel like come the day, you know, that he reveals himself to man,
hmm
I feel like in a way that's how they will know.
Okay. So you're familiar with 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4, right?
Not gonna lie, man. I don't really know.
Okay.
I can't quote scripture, but I definitely can. If you tell me what it is, I might be familiar with it.
Okay. Because it says in their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ. Is that true or is that false?
Can you say that one more time?
In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ. Is that true? Or is that false?
I really don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Saying he blinded
Is
people from his glory.
It's the God of this world. So what that means is Satan has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. That's who they're referring to, the God of this
Well, yeah.
world.
Not to cut you off or anything, but this guy in the comments said Surge said faith. You
Okay.
know, I know it's off topic, but I feel like that's like the main priority that you need
Okay.
is faith. You know?
Okay. So are you saying
But
that believers in other religions don't have any faith?
no, like I was saying, how God the Father is a manifestation. It describes in the Bible that the Father isn't like he's not like he doesn't look like a man. He's like a manifestation of like all these different objects like crystals and like these see-through sort of being. But
He's a
that's how I'm
manifestation.
saying he could be what your perspective, however you picture God, I feel like that's how he comes to you in your dream.
Okay.
Because with Christ the Son, that's the Father as human, the
Okay.
Son. But
So
the actual Father, you go ahead, my bad.
No. Go ahead. Go and finish your sentence. I thought you were done.
So yeah, I was saying, as the Father, he doesn't look like an actual human. He's like this being, with this glorifying image to him, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
a see-through. That's how some people in their testimonies of Jesus describe him, like some see-through being with this glorifying being. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah,
Okay.
well,
Well,
like he does
because that's the thing
manifest.
is we should have evidence of whether or not this is true, right? Because this
Yeah,
sounds
yeah, yeah.
like just something you're saying, but we have no way to demonstrate that this is true, right?
No, yeah, I understand. It just from what I truly experienced, you know.
Sure. But you would
Yeah.
agree that because, well, then that's what I keep trying to ask you is the experiences of other people in other religions, because you're saying, hey, it's what I experienced, so that's how I know it's true. But the other people in other religions will say the exact same thing. So how does your experience true and theirs not true?
No, I'm not saying what they're saying isn't true.
Is
You
their
know, like I was
experience
saying,
true?
I mean, like I was saying, the Father is a manifestation. So I feel like whatever people say they're seeing is true. I don't feel like
Right.
all these other people are lying about what they're
Okay.
seeing.
Now it says that in the Bhagavad Gita in the Hindu religion. It says the same thing. So they're saying that if you see a manifestation of a different god, it's just what you want to see. They call it like the Maya or an illusion. So it's like you just have an illusion on you. So how can we? So that means then that what they're saying the same thing about you.
Yeah, I could definitely understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They could disagree with me as well, you know.
Yeah. So how do
I
we determine which of you has the true belief then?
Well, I mean, I heard him talk to me and everything, like
Yeah.
in the Bible, right?
And so another person in the
So
Hindu religion who heard Krishna talk to them.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I
that
don't really know how to explain that. Like I was saying, I'm really new to all this stuff.
I
I mean,
understand.
I guess I'll learn throughout my process, you know.
Yeah.
But I truly do have faith in Jesus, man. Honestly.
Okay. Well, I hear that. But I'm trying to understand how faith makes something true.
Well, it actually works. Like through my livelihood and like how I'm living and how I'm experiencing things.
Mm-hmm.
My faith in Him has got me so far and got me so many things. Not that I'm using that for that, but through love and peace, like it's still a peace
Through love and peace. Uh-huh.
that I can't comprehend. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't really explain it. I'm saying a lot
Okay.
of people tend to ask God for materialistic things, but how the Father, Jesus, he tells you that if you ask for like spiritual needs, like
Mm-hmm.
mental help or like something, wisdom,
Kickpole
he
started.
literally provides
Mm-hmm.
those things to me.
Yeah.
And I'm literally a living. I can literally. I can't really explain it, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
But
it's okay. Kickpole started, by the way, chat, since you hit the early goal. All right. Well, because that's the thing is that, like we know things to be true because we can verify them, right?
Mhm.
Like 2 + 2 = 4. We can like do a proof on that. We can do like math and verify that 2 + 2 indeed equals 4. So that's what I'm trying to ask you is like how do we know this is true? You're just kind of just saying, well, it's my experience. But if we have
Yeah.
if we have people who have other experiences, the same experiences as you, but in different religions, so it all comes to a different conclusion, how can we say that your experience is real?
I feel like as long as you still have that faith, I feel like it's about how you carry yourself throughout the world.
Yeah.
Like you say, someone said that lust is actually natural. Though it may be natural and everybody is, doing it, people as they get older, they start to indulge in more of that.
Mm. Okay. Well, hey, listen, they voted to move on to the next guest, but hey, I appreciate you coming up. All right. I think he lost his connection. All right. Well, have a good day. All right. So, baby Christian. But at least he's honest. Yeah, he was honest. Yeah, and really read the Bible. So it was all about the feeling. Excuse me. Yeah, it was about the feeling. But again, if we've got other people in other religions having the same feeling about different gods, how does that make it true? No problem. All right, let's move on to the next guest. So, people who are in my queue, please be sure that you are at least 18 or over. Please be sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. And also, please be sure that you have evidence that God is real. So, let's go to Adam for real. Oh, request canceled. All right. Let's go move on to Super Daryl. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much. How old are you?
I'm 48.
All right. And which God do you believe in? The God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
The God of the Bible.
All right.
I got to be honest. I'm a little nervous. I've never actually did this on TikTok before. I've never
Okay.
did a live, so this is the first for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be really easy on you. I'm respectable as long as you're respectful,
Oh, absolutely.
You get
I've
what you
watched
get.
you for a while now. I mean,
Yeah.
you're very knowledgeable, and I respect the stuff that you put out.
Appreciate that. All right. Well, what evidence do you have that God is real?
Well, when you say evidence, it's not like I can put something tangible down on a table and like say, here it is. I mean, if it was that easy with this we wouldn't even be having this discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
I agree.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of believe maybe a little differently than maybe a lot of people that you've had on before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to back some of it up with scripture when I can.
Okay.
Like I believe like not necessarily in like reincarnation, but I believe that we've lived before
Okay.
on this earth. I believe in like 3 earth ages. I believe there was an age before this one. We're in the second one, and there's a third one to come. Well, you read in Revelation, new heaven, new earth. That's the new age to come after this one, but I believe there was one before this one.
All right. Okay. And how do we know any of that's true?
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't have any evidence to like lay on the table and say, here it is. I can back some things up with scripture. I'm familiar with a little bit of Hebrew, Greek, and Chaldee.
Mm-hmm.
I like to take things back to the original languages because there are
Come
some
on.
there's some errors
Yeah.
in the Bible. I'll be the first to admit there's some mistranslations in the Bible.
Okay.
So it's important to take it back to the original language so that you know what they really meant.
Okay. So yeah, I agree. And so if we have, because yeah, we can like look at the original Hebrew and
Like I have my
get
Strong's Concordance pulled up now.
get most of it. Well, what I'm trying to understand though is like this so what you're saying to me is it sounds like what your evidence is that the Bible is true. Bible
Yes,
says
correct. I believe the Bible is true. I believe that as it's been through the thousands of years that the scriptures have been handed down and rewritten, that there's been translational errors, and like some things you have to be able to take back to the original languages. Like original Hebrew language is a dead language. They don't even speak it anymore. I mean, you have
right.
modern day Hebrew,
It's ancient
but the
Hebrew, yeah.
original Hebrew, it's dead. I mean,
Mhm.
unless you're a scholar or someone who's interested, you're probably not even looking at it.
Yeah. Okay. So if we have like if we're saying so then how do we actually know if there's been mistranslations? Like do you know Hebrew?
I do. I know I'm not like an expert, but I know a little bit of Hebrew.
A little bit.
I've been studying now for about 10 years.
Okay. All right. So if we found like things that are in I would say like if you go back to the original Hebrew, right? The Hebrew Bible, for example.
Correct.
How accurate would you say that Bible is, like that it is God's word?
Well, I mean, the closer you get to the people who actually wrote it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless they were lying, the more accurate it's going to be.
Okay. So if we can kind of translate it back to the original Hebrew in many cases, that would be the true word of God.
That's what I believe anyway.
Okay. So then if we found things that were if we found things that were not true in the Bible, then what does that mean in your mind?
Well, I mean, like something that maybe God said that was contradictory to what he did, perhaps?
That, or like, for example, if something couldn't possibly have happened according to reality, like, or logic.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things in the Bible that would like kind of defy logic. At least logic as we understand it today. I mean, he stopped time and reversed it.
Yeah.
In the Bible.
Yeah. And yeah,
that defies all laws of physics that we know.
Yep. I agree with that. And
So, I mean,
yeah. And so if that's the case, then how do we demonstrate that this is true? If there's just stuff like that, but then there's just things that even that just couldn't possibly happen. Like there's just like stuff in the Bible that just couldn't possibly happen. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's a good one. All right. So like, for example, if we look at, like, do you know when, when humans started smelting iron?
Well, it goes back into Genesis. I think we're probably in maybe the second or third chapter of Genesis. You had Tubal Cain. We started to have this melting of iron and whatnot.
Yeah. And so how is it possible that Tubal Cain could have smelted iron before we had the ability to smelt iron? Because this is all the evidence we have shows that we did that even way before, this happened like at least 1,000 years before we were able to do that.
Well, I mean, I think through through archaeology, we've discovered like there's certain things we've discovered that we didn't think happened that actually did happen. I'll give an example. Babylon. For the longest time, the archaeology community, they didn't believe that Babylon existed.
But I want to kind of go back to this iron thing.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to know, like, if we have, because we have like really, really solid evidence.
Right.
That,
I agree with you.
Yeah. So
I
if we
know
have,
where you're going with it.
Yeah, if we have like super solid evidence of that, then We didn't start
Why
smelting
can't
iron
we?
until like 1200 BC, and Tubal-Cain supposedly lived like 1,000 years earlier than that.
You're correct.
Yeah. So how do
I
we?
kind of believe in like technology lost kind of thing.
Mm,
Like maybe I think we discredit ourselves as humans sometimes by thinking that where we're living now we're so much superior to the way some people lived then. I think was technology that might have been around, lost, and refound.
okay. So you're thinking that we had this technology and then lost it somehow, and then it was found again.
I
Yeah.
believe it's possible.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, can we even remember 300 years back? I mean, sure, we can have people say, well, this happened here and this
Yeah.
happened there.
Hang
But
on
I
a
mean,
second.
like, say you're
Give me a second.
sorry.
I gotta. Yeah. Give me 1 sec. Be right back, everybody. Thanks for waiting. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine, man. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Like I said,
um,
my take on things is probably a little bit way different than a lot
mhm.
of people you've had on. I've done a lot of studying in the Hebrew and the Greek, the Chaldee.
Mhm.
I'm 48 and I've kind of been in this since about 17.
Okay.
So I love talking about it.
Yeah.
I love discussing it. I like to leave on a good note, even if we disagree. It's okay to
Well,
disagree.
yeah, you
We
sound
can,
kind. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That's cool.
I'm not for enslaving anybody. I'm not for killing and pillaging. And
Mhm.
I think if we can have the discussions on those things, I think I can explain some of it away.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So,
because like I said, there's a lot lost in translation.
okay. Well, maybe we can kind of take a different approach because I think in one thing, like I cited an anachronism, which you say, well, it's possible because, we learned it, we forgot it, we learned it again. Although honestly, we don't have any evidence that that has ever happened.
No, you're correct. We don't.
We don't have any evidence that like humanity lost some technology and then gained it back somehow. Like we see like a progression, like a consistent progression of technology.
Well, if you kind of go back to scripture, Jesus was talking, I believe he's talking to the disciples, and he was preaching to the people, and people were asking him questions, and he's like, this is something you should already know. He said, your fathers knew this. And he said, your fathers knew this knowledge that you're seeking, and they lost it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, why are you asking me? It's something you should already know.
Yeah.
He was almost frustrated. There were plenty of times where he was almost frustrated that people were asking him some of the questions they were asking, because he's like, you should already know.
Yeah, I hear that. And so, but see, then that kind of brings up another problem, because if Jesus is God, wouldn't he know that they don't know?
Well, yes and no. See, we take all powerful to mean something that it really doesn't mean. There is a limit to power.
There's a limit to power. When it says all
There's
powerful, there's a limit to power. How does that make sense?
That's the thing, is all powerful. All that means is whatever power is in existence, it's available to God. There's a
Okay.
limit to power. I mean, you would like explain to me what all powerful is. Then what is the limit? What is it that can't be done? I
Well,
mean, the old story of can God create a rock so heavy he can't lift it?
yeah, I would say within the laws of logic, right?
I mean,
However,
I could.
how did you choose though that God could violate the laws of physics but not the laws of logic?
Well,
Because you told me earlier that he violates the laws of logic, or I'm sorry,
well,
the laws
God
of physics.
God is something that no one completely understands. Like most atheists, like some of my best friends are atheists.
Mhm.
We discuss things all the time. I have wonderful discussions with them, and I don't think they truly understand. When they talk about God, they always try to put God within the creation, which makes God subordinate with all the laws of physics, with all the rules of physics. You can't put God inside these rules and laws if he actually created them.
Okay.
He's above them.
All right.
He can violate them because he created them.
He can violate them because he created them. All right. So that basically means then, okay, so yeah, that just seems very, very incoherent, right? Because
Well, I mean, in order for him to reverse time, he would have had to have violated the laws that he set up.
right, just like you said. And so, but that's what I mean is how come then he can violate that law, but he can't violate the law of logic? Because I mean, that's kind of what you were saying earlier. Can't violate the law of logic. It's just there's constraints here. So on one hand, there's no constraints, but then on the other hand, there are constraints.
I think,
And it just seems to be in your favor. You know what I mean?
Well, I think logic kind of goes back to consciousness, and that's something we can't really explain yet either.
We have really good explanations on consciousness, actually. Like,
Well, there's research on it, but for the scientific community as a whole has not agreed on exactly what it is, and no one has. I definitely explained it.
we have an idea of, we know where it comes from. Like we don't, like it doesn't, like for all of the evidence that we have, it all points to the brain, right? So that what we know, Daryl, is that when we unalive, like when the brain stops, consciousness stops, right? I have a video on that on my profile, and I even cite evidence of that. And so,
But does consciousness actually stop when your brain stops? We assume it.
well, that's all the evidence we have. I mean, because there's no evidence that it continues on.
Well,
And that's the thing
Right.
is like, if it goes somewhere, then where does it go? Like we can't track it. We can't put like a tag on it. We can't measure it. We can't do anything. As far as we know, once the brain stops functioning, consciousness is done. That's it.
I mean,
And so,
say, if you go to say 1 Corinthians 15, when Paul's talking about inheriting a new body, if you're familiar with it, he talks about there's a celestial body, there's different bodies, and that we have another body that we inherit when we die. Because he says, I long to be with God.
yeah.
So he says, I wish to be absent from the body so that I can be present with the Lord.
Yeah.
But he still had things to do. So he said, but I'm reluctant, but I'm still here.
Well, how do we know that's true though? That's the thing. How do we know we inherit a new body?
Well, you don't.
Okay.
But no
So
more
it's-
than you would know.
So we just have to
accept.
accept that it's true, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
No, you don't have to accept it. You choose to accept it. I mean, we have a choice to do whatever we want.
Yeah, I don't really choose my beliefs. And we have evidence that we don't choose our beliefs. Like we have lots of evidence of that.
Like
Scientific evidence, yeah.
Like I said, I was a little nervous about coming on because I know you're really smart.
Yeah. Are you still nervous?
No, I'm
Okay.
not so much anymore.
Okay, good,
I mean,
good. Because I'm not. Yeah, I don't bite. I'm not
No,
a terrible person. Yeah. Well, here, let me go ahead. I was gonna say, like, one of the other problems that I have is like with the issue of, it seems to me that believers like morality and ethics don't line up with God's morality and ethics. And here's a perfect example. And I can't really seem to get a good explanation for this. So, under what circumstance, Daryl, is it appropriate for a wife to be graped for the husband's infidelity?
I knew you was going to get to that. Well, like in my eyes, it would. it would never be acceptable.
It'd never be acceptable. Okay.
It would never be acceptable.
Okay. So why does God find it acceptable?
Well, I don't know that he does. Like, I know what the scripture says. I mean, I completely understand what it says. It's just like when you deal with slavery in the Bible, because people have free will, and God cannot make you do a certain thing. So he's like, well, these people, they're going to do this, whether I like it or not. Because of their free will, they're going to do this. So the most I can do, since I can't control them because of their free will, is set down guidelines and at least hope they follow some kind of civilized guidelines so they don't overstep too far.
Well, see, the question that I have that nobody can seem to explain is, why does free will always come up when it's in the commission of a sin or a crime? However, no one ever invokes free will when we talk about, I wanted to give out presents for everybody for the holidays, and so I use my free will to do that. It's never invoked.
It is free will.
Or I use my free will to avoid being graped. So I use my free will. I exercise my free will, and that person just stopped graping me. That never happens. So why does the perpetrator's free will supersede the victim's free will every time?
Well, I mean, if I'm a man or a woman and someone's trying to rape me, I'm going to do everything within my power to stop it from happening. That's my free will to do so.
And so where was David's wives' free will when they were graped?
I don't know why didn't she fight back? She could have.
They could have. Well, I think they couldn't have. They didn't. They honestly, their choice was either do what Absalom says or die. That was their choice. So they didn't want to die.
Well, I'm going to be a little different here. I mean, I don't think I would have cared. I think I would have fought back.
You would have fought back. Okay.
Why not?
Okay. So that being the case, though, you would agree they didn't have a choice, right? They didn't give consent.
The way it's presented, it would seem that way.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but the way it's written down, it does seem that way.
Okay. So if they didn't give consent and God handed down this punishment, how does free will play into this? If God is the one that said, this is what will happen, I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with them in broad daylight. God said that, right? So I'm at a loss as to where the free will is here.
Well, I mean, it's one of those conundrums, isn't it?
Right. Well, then
it really is.
Okay, so then you're saying then to me, Daryl, is that this God uses grape as punishment. On top of that, will punish people who didn't even commit the sin in order to, because in this case, to punish David, he had his wives graped.
Well,
right?
This kind of goes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's it. That's the question.
This kind of goes back to where, like I said, I believe that we lived before, and I think the Bible supports that we lived before in another age.
Okay.
We had, like I said, say if you go to Genesis and you take Genesis back into the Hebrew, it even indicates that like there was something that happened. Like in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It was a complete thought. Everything's created. It's perfect. It's the way it should be. And then something happened where it became unperfect. I don't believe, like in Genesis, say in Genesis 2, I don't believe that is the creation process. What happened is in Genesis 1, everything was perfect. Something happened. God almost destroyed everything. And in Genesis 2, it's a rebuilding. It's a rebuilding of what already was.
Okay. I'm not sure how this answers my question.
Well, because we lived before, God has a knowledge. Not everyone was perfect in the first earth age.
So, like, are you saying that the wives in the first earth age committed some kind of sin that justified them getting graped in the second earth age?
I'm not going to say that anyone should be raped. That's not my call. I mean, if I see someone getting raped, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to help that person. I'm saying there's knowledge that I don't have access to.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand then why it's justified for God to use grape as a form of punishment. That's what I'm really wanting to hear from you. And then I got to wrap it up, but it'll be the last one.
Okay. I just don't really have a good answer for you. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot more I could talk about if we could get into it. I mean, maybe I could explain it a little better, but it would probably take a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, I invite you to come back another time. I have to invite my friendlies up, and we got to do a little thing.
I appreciate.
Yeah, but come on back. I really like the conversation, though. I really, really did enjoy it, and so I'd
like to take some things back to the Hebrew with you, because I know you probably think I'm nuts talking about first, or like if you get any time, do some homework on the first Earth age, second Earth age. Like you can go into Jeremiah 4, and then Jeremiah 4 about halfway down. It kind of repeats Genesis 1 all over again, and it talks about civilizations being destroyed.
Yeah.
It's because Lucifer rebelled in the first Earth age. That's what caused the fall, because Lucifer was a cherub who guarded the throne of God.
Okay.
I mean, you can read Ezekiel 28 discusses. I'm sure you're familiar with Ezekiel 28.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, Daryl, but hey, come back another time and we'll pick up where we left off.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Daryl. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
There we go. All right. So I'm going to open up for friendlies because I got to leave soon. And so friendlies, come on up and questions, for comments, all kinds of stuff. So come on up. We got one so far. How's it going?
Hi, Dad. What
Hi.
you doing?
Hey.
I'm fine.
Doing our thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Amy, and I'm leaving like in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm just doing like the last 10 minutes here with my friendlies to give them a chance to like talk and ask questions, all that stuff. But I'll be on here tomorrow. So, but you know what? It's a good time to bring up the mods as well. They're friendly. And we'll kind of knock out two birds with one stone here. But anybody else that's a friendly, yeah, feel free to request up. And yeah, sounds good. But feel free to request up. And I'm inviting mods up. Big reason is because I need to thank them for all the amazing stuff they do. And especially them, Ethereal Ember, doing lots of amazing stuff. I think Forever Atheist might be like away from keyboard or something, but yeah, I just, I need to thank you guys, because I really, really am grateful for the support. I truly, truly am. And on the other side, on the YouTube side, I've got Blaster Master 80 and Rainbow Ash, although I don't know, haven't seen them in chat today, so they might not even be there, but that's okay. We have some folks here. So what time tomorrow? Usually between, I start usually at 4:00 Eastern time. I had to do a bit of an earlier start today because I got to take my daughter somewhere. So, but we could probably we can throw it up around the table, talk about whom to raid after this. The secular perspective, that's the one we need to raid. There we go. So we should do that.
Joyful is so funny.
Joyful is, yeah. So thank you, Nate, for coming up here, and hopefully we'll have another chance to talk. Yeah. So we see them all on YouTube. And but yeah, that's the one we can probably raid, is the secular perspective, because it is Thursday and they are on. And those who requested up, who are wanting to talk to me, that'd be a good place to go to if you want to talk to somebody. You can go up there and you know, if you want to debate or converse about your beliefs, that's a great place to go as well. So I just really, really appreciate everybody. Like, 'cause, geez, I didn't have that many guests today, but man, we were like consistently over 100. You know, we were like in the mid hundreds. Your willingness to open the dialogue is amazing. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, if it's just like, if it's an honest effort to have a conversation, I'm good with that. I think some people don't have that like intent in mind, and I get a little impatient with that. But like the last guy, you know, he just wanted to have a conversation, and I'll do that all day. I love those kind of talks. I love stuff like that.
I just didn't like the victim blaming, but you know.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah. I know he snuck that in with like 30 seconds left. I was like, ah, crap.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it was going well until then. Yeah, you're right. But I'll hit it. I'll hit it the next time. So let's see. Pete, are you a friendly? Let's see. We'll bring Pete up. I don't think I've talked to Pete before, but we'll see. But yeah, that was a little that I was like, oh dang, not much time left. But we got boy, I gotta say chat was a bit short on patience today. 2 people were ejected with the jellyfish.
I can't find the jellyfish in my gift thing.
Yeah, it's in there because people found it. I think you brought it up before, used it before.
Did I? It's probably buried it because they got new ones again. I see.
Yeah. It's like it's way down there, so you have to look for it.
I found the galaxy, but I didn't find the because I love the galaxy.
Yeah. But the jellyfish is the one that and I kind of make it like a little bit harder for people to find, you know, a bit of an unusual one because the galaxy is like so easy to find, right?
Are you still doing the money pew pew thing too?
Oh no, I'm not doing that because
Damn it.
I'm trying to get away from like the immediate kick pull. I'm trying to, because I think it was a bit redundant because people could just do the boxing gloves, right? But I think like it's
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can just buy up all the boxing gloves, and it's actually a lot cheaper that way. But if you do, so it's a bit redundant. So if I just do that and the jellyfish, because like the jellyfish I think is a pretty good one because that's like a big goal, and so it like, you know, like it's going to take a lot to remove this guest immediately, right? So I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I like the jellyfish. They're huge.
Yeah, they make a nice little graphic, so I like them too.
I didn't know that they sting you.
They do.
Really?
They do. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, they sting you, and I think is it myth or reality that you can pee on your leg if they sting you? I think that's a thing. Yeah.
It's like it's kind of a misnomer.
Okay.
Because it's still like not good for it, but it takes like the sting away, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not
It's not true.
It is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You can. I've done it. So you can, but it's probably not the thing to do, right?
Right. Like you need to actually go get help.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Can actually make the sting worse. Yeah. So that's what I thought. Yeah. So it's just best to just go to the hospital. Yeah. I think that's the case. But yeah, we got a couple more minutes if any
That's the funniest thing.
any
I've
friendlies
ever
want to
heard.
come up. Yeah. We got a couple more minutes. But in the meantime, let's give a lot of thanks to Ethereal Ember for all the things that you do. So heart puffs and
Ember's the best.
W's,
Info
yes.
is
Absolutely.
Sunny and all the friends.
Absolutely. And there's Forever Atheist. There's a Forever Atheist.
Gunnar got a Christmas present from Phoebe.
Yay.
Yeah, he likes it.
Awesome. And same with Forever Atheist. Everybody give Forever Atheist a lot of love. Heart puffs and roses and W's and likes and follows for that matter. Because Forever Atheist, man, I appreciate you. I really, really do. Hey, it's been a minute. I haven't
appreciate
seen
you
you.
too.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a minute. So it's good to see you.
I've been really busy at
Yeah.
work. I mean, every once in a while I try to get on at lunch, and then when I get off of work, I try to get in. But even after off, because it's cheer season, so I do a lot of things with my younger daughter because she's a competition cheerleader.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you're right, like right in the middle of that. Yeah, gotcha. Well, it's like I said, it's always good to see you. So
You too.
I'm happy for that. All right. Well, I do have to hang it up, but let's go raid the secular perspective. So it's just type in the secular perspective in your search bar after we're done here, and then just type in TBV raid, and I think that would be great for them. So I know the secular perspective is doing a bit of a brand change, and they're like doing some really exciting things with their lives. So, I mean, that would be great support there. So yes, everybody head on over there. I'll see you over there. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Oh, and YouTube, you can do the same thing. Secular Perspective is on YouTube as well. So YouTubers, you can head over there as well. All right. Enjoy your rest of your Thursday, guys. Great seeing you. Thanks again. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. Good night.
All right. See ya.